Hello, my beautiful Virgos. This is the birthday coach, Jeremy Ryan, saying you were born for more. You deserve more love, happiness, and success. I try to help you achieve that with the secrets of astrology. Yes, Virgo can be high-strung, anxious, and nervous at times. Why is that? It's the mind. Now, it's not because you're mental. Quite opposite. You are powerful when it comes to the mind because Virgo's ruled by Mercury. And Mercury's the planet of the mental, logical, conscious thinking. That's why we love to talk to our Virgo friends, because they can help us problem solve. They help us to grow personally. They can really make sense of things. That's why they're phenomenal teachers and guides and astrologers. So I love Virgo. If you're a Virgo sun, moon, rising sign, this video's for you. Or if you got a lot of planets in the sign of Virgo or in that sixth house, let's talk about a strategy, just a little tip, a little strategy for you to maintain, keep equilibrium, balance, and peace. Most of all, peace in your relationships, in your thoughts, in your heart. Why can Virgo be a very restless, nervous, high-strung, anxious zodiac sign? Because the mind is most powerful in the sign of Virgo. And you got Gemini's ruled by Mercury, but Gemini's a light, fluffy, happy, jumping from thought to thought, really quick type of mindset, the brainstorming mind, where Virgo is that deep, deep, penetrating, deep, profound thinking. Now, why that causes trouble for Virgos in relationships is because the more powerful the mind is, the more the opportunity to become nervous, anxiety, stress. The mind is not our friend. Now, the higher mind, Jupiter, the higher mind, the mind linked to spirit is our guiding force. Our intuitive mind is our friend. But the logical mind, the deep thinking mind that I'm talking about, our human mind, which has been a blessing because it's helped us survive and thrive as a species because we are aware that we're conscious. And so the mind is great. Mind solves problems, but that's the problem too, because the mind's looking for problems. The main focus of the mind is to see a problem before it comes, strategize a solution, strategize a survival technique. So the mind is constantly scanning, looking, trying to be aware of potential problems. That's why it's hard to be in a relationship with the Virgo, because they're very sensitive subconsciously. Even if they're not aware of it, their mind is looking for any little thing that could be out of place, that could signal a red flag, signal potential threat. And so that's why for a lot of Virgos, we can be stressed out in relationships, stressed out in our careers, because our mind is scanning the horizon, making bigger. That's why sometimes Virgos, they say, are nitpicking. It's not that they're nitpicking, but they are magnifying any possibility of what did you mean by what you said? Or what was your motive for doing what you're doing? Trying to figure out what you're all about. Trying to figure out the boss, trying to figure out the coworker, trying to figure out how to stay ahead, how to keep everything working. It's a lot of stress on anybody. There are a lot of other signs that just very free-flowing. Let it come, whatever comes, roll it off the back. Well, Virgo's not like that, because Virgo's trying to keep the train on the track. It's trying to avoid a crisis before there is any need to try to fix it. They're trying to stop it before it even happens. And so the mind becomes the enemy in the sign of Virgo sometimes. Even though you're the most intelligent of the zodiacs and smartest people, and very caring and compassionate, because Virgo's a sign of the service. And this is going to be a little bit of a strategy to help you not sabotage your relationships or sabotage all your hard work when you become anxious and fearful and worried about little problems that you think are bigger than what they really are, because the mind has a way of blowing things out of proportion. And so, not to be hypersensitive, Virgo, here is my solution, just one little tip. And if you're a Virgo, you should subscribe to the channel right now, ring the notification bell, so you can have an astrologer that actually loves you, loves Virgo and also can give you strategies to help you enjoy your life, help you enjoy your relationships and enjoy your career. So here's the strategy. You got to keep your mind busy in service. You got to keep your mind busy in service. And now that doesn't sound sexy, but what happens, Virgo, is, and that's why people say Virgos are workaholics. They just want to work, because they're trying to avoid their feelings. I don't want you avoiding your feelings, but I don't want your mind tricking you into always thinking there's problems, because that's what the mind wants. It wants there to be problems, because the mind's a problem solver. And if there's no problems, the mind gets bored and starts causing drama, starts causing all kinds of pretend drama, thinking you act upon a lot of pretend drama because the mind wants to stay busy. So instead of letting your mind dictate your fear, dictate your worry, dictate your anxiety, you're going to keep it busy. The mind's like a 2-year-old. Long as it's kept busy, it tends to behave for the most part. So you want to, instead of sitting there trying to figure out all your relationship problems, you better off, what are the practical things you need to do? Does the house need to be cleaned? Does the car need to be taken in for an oil change? Do you need to exercise? Because the Virgo that's not exercising is not going to be a good Virgo at all. It's not going to have peace. 6th house rules exercise. Virgo is ruled by the 6th house. 6th house rules service. Being a service, daily serving. Whether you're working, doing your duties, your duty, your dharma. Dharma means your responsibility. And letting your mind concentrate on too many what could go wrong will cause there to be unnecessary stress in your life. So you need to stay busy doing your duty, keeping your goals in front of you, keeping your objective in front of you, having that checklist. You know, and not all Virgos that way. Everyone, the old Virgos are all checklists and they're all, you know, they're all workers. You know, you could be a late degree Virgo. You could be a Virgo in the last 10 days and you're going to have more of a Venus to you because Venus is going to be definitely influencing that type of Virgo. So you're not going to be as conscientious of list making or, you know, as tidy and organized. So there's a lot of disorganized Virgo. But one thing they all have in common is that mind is overactive. And so for there to be peace for the Virgo, you have to keep the mind busy. Now for you spiritual Virgos, maybe you made meditation a practice, calming the mind down, telling the mind, don't even think. I'm going to train you not to think. I'm going to train you to relax. If you're into meditation, that is a great thing you can do. For those that aren't into meditation, you better be exercising. You better be exercising. You better be having goals that you throw yourself into to keep the mind more balanced and not blowing up the problems in your love life or the problems in the career. That doesn't mean there aren't problems in your relationships or there are not problems in your career. But if that's all you begin to focus on, you're actually not going to solve it. You're going to magnify it, blow it out of proportion. It's going to stress you out. And then when a Virgo gets stressed out, nobody's happy. Because usually a Virgo doesn't criticize unless they're not happy with their own life. And if you begin to focus too much on what you think the problem is at work or the problem is in the marriage, you are going to become critical. And that's not going to be good for you. It's not going to be good for the relationship. So yes, address problems, but sometimes you're better off going to the gym or, you know what, tackling some type of cleaning, some type of organizing, something to keep the mind focused on productive energy. Things that you're using your energy for that gets things done. And not just letting the hamster wheel of the mind, using that mental energy to keep thinking over the same issue. Seeing if you can figure out what was going on behind the scenes. Stop trying to figure things out with the mind, that mental mind, and instead go to the higher mind. Surrender to the higher mind. Surrender to God. Surrender to the Holy Spirit, the universe. Throw yourself into your goals. And if there should be a major problem that comes up, you'll be able to handle it. But there's no reason to constantly try to be on top of everything. Trying to constantly be on top of everything is a sure way to create unnecessary drama and to burn yourself out and more stress than you need. let things build up a little bit instead of trying to fix it ahead of time. Trying to fix things ahead of time sometimes is being too hypersensitive and is putting too much stress on your relationships. So chill a little bit, go after your dreams, go after your goals, keep the mind busy, have a checklist, do things, exercise, do meditation, and always ask yourself, is this really something I need to worry about, or is my mind magnifying it? And if you could say, you know what, maybe the mind's magnifying it, let me just get back to doing some practical things around the house, knowing that if something major comes up, I'll be able to handle it. I'm a Virgo. I can handle it, but I don't need to handle it every second of every day and worry. I need to surrender to the universe, stay busy doing my stuff, not worrying about everyone else's stuff. Virgo is a helper, so it's okay for you to help, but don't help to the point where you're taking on everyone else's baggage. Help and then let it go. Help and let it go. What I mean is, if you're counseling, give the good advice, but realize it's up to them what they do with it. It is not your responsibility to carry everybody. It's just your responsibility to share your knowledge that you feel that you need to share, but then you move about doing your goals, your dreams, your exercise, your meditations, your prayers, and that's going to help keep you balanced. Hey, Virgo, you might want to get a reading with me? Go to thebirthdaycoach.com, thebirthdaycoach.com. You can get a half an hour phone call with me or an hour phone call with me, and we can talk about what's going on in your life, what you should be focusing on, what you should be using your mind right now at this time in your life to get ahead. All right, everyone, we'll see you in the next video.